Hello, good people. This is a guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker, coming back at you live once again from the Lone Star State with another edition of the Media Mike Speaks. All right, good people. You know, there are things in life that get old, and actually, this thing going on with this COVID is actually getting old. And I do believe the Democrats know this. So they're going to try, just my opinion, to pull a rabbit out of the hat come 2022 during the primaries. I don't believe they're going to take the House. I think the Republicans will take the House in 2022. Anyway, let's get to this story here. As you see, Miss Joy Behar, she is a co-host on The View. I don't watch The View, but I've seen it in passing. So let's talk about this here, because this kind of concerns me. And as you saw down in the description box, she needs to stay in her lane. But anyway, let's get to it. The View co-host Joy Behar said Thursday that black people don't need to be afraid of the COVID-19 vaccine anymore because white people did it as an experiment, unquote, she says here. I would like to know why you're so concerned about black people, Miss Behar. But anyway, let's continue, good people. Now, co-host Sunny Hostin says she was struck by the number of Americans who remain unvaccinated and that the solution may be fear. 56% of Americans are fully vaccinated. Now, okay, fully. That means more than one shot. While 65%, but that number goes up and down. Sometimes it's 70 or above 70%. But here it's saying 65% have received at least one dose. Only 46% of black Americans have received at least one shot of the coronavirus vaccine as of October 4th, according to the CDC data. So what is it to you? It's obvious that this is some sort of campaign to get African Americans to get vaccinated. Now, Sunny Hostin goes on to say, this goes on to quote here, I also remember the ad campaign, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs with the egg on the street frying. That works. Fear works. Unfortunately, Hostin explained. Well, okay, but I think that was in the skillet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But this is not the same thing. This is not that. Now, Behar goes on to say, she said she didn't blame the black community's hesitancy to receive the vaccine, citing the Tuskegee experiments in which the U.S. government conducted syphilis experiments on black Americans without their knowing consent. Then if you don't blame them, Ms. Behar, then you should understand and back off, because you will never understand. But what I find interesting is that there are many Caucasian people who are against the vaccine. Hell, they are the main ones leading the charge. From altercations at school boards to marches and protesting, losing their jobs, or even walking out. So what are you talking about, Ms. Behar? But she goes on to say, how do they get, she quotes here, how do they get through to people like the black audience? For instance, the African American community, who has been burnt in the past by these Tuskegee experiments and things coming out that have harmed them, Behar said. I don't blame that community for being skittish about it, but I say that so many white people have gotten it now. You know, the experiment has been done on white people now, unquote. She didn't really make any sense, but but not all of them, ma'am. You do have the resistance, as I mentioned earlier. So let's get it right. Let's get it right. Now, this is what strikes me here. Co-host Whoopi Goldberg chimed in, agreeing with Behar. She goes on to quote, I've said to more people, well, she quotes, good people, I've said to more people, do you see another head at the back of my head? Is there a tail back there? Unquote. I don't know where she was going with that. She said that she was proof of the vaccines were safe, despite examples in history of experimentation like the Tuskegee experiment. She continues to quote, the Tuskegee experiment, there are countless things we can point to, but this is not one of them. Goldberg continued, this isn't one of them. And did you just say joy, white people. This is what I said at the beginning. White people are getting it. If you don't see them with double heads, it's okay. You know, if you don't see a tear, it's okay. What in the hell are you talking about? What are they talking about? And furthermore, no, Whoopi, who are you to say that it's okay? And with a name like Whoopi, really? This is who African Americans need to trust. Oh, this is very funny. This is funny. No, ma'am. Number one, you are a celebrity. You and the cast of The View are all part of the same agenda. And who really watches The View now today anyway? You know what I say when you're trying too hard to force people to do something because they think something that keeps changing week to week, saying it will spread? Well, here's something from Scripture, good people. Only fools rush in where angels fear to tread. This is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.